I don't know if you know this, but the average landing page converts right around 2%. So that means for every 100 people who show up, 98 of them leave without doing a thing. But I just built a landing page using 2 AI tools that's converting it over 18%. And the whole thing took me less than an hour. And you can copy my results and get the same thing for yourself, even if you've never built a landing page before, have 0 design skills, 0 marketing skills. And this works for any offer. Lead magnets, paid products, software trials, consultation packages, you name it. The blueprint is the same no matter what. Now, most landing page tutorials are going to show you the magic layout, right? They'll tell you what sections you need, where your headline goes, where the button should sit, and that's all great. But then they leave you to actually go and build the thing yourself. This one's different though. I'm going to be walking you through the entire build from start to finish, nothing skipped. You're going to see the exact planning process that gets your page converting 10 times higher than the average. I'm going to reveal the best AI website builder to actually bring it to life and how to use it. So by the end here, you're gonna have a finished landing page live and ready to bring in sales. But we are not gonna start with the website builder because any landing page is only as good as its content and how well it's planned. So that's where ChatGPT comes in. Now I've developed kind of a mega prompt that you're gonna use here, so get that in the description below. It's really long, so just grab that, copy it, and paste it in here. Now, you can read through this if you want to. You don't have to. Just know it's designed to not only take your own business information, but also to go out and research on the web, like what people are actually saying about, this kind of offer. What are their pain points? What are their desires? All that stuff, so it can actually use those words in your landing page, which is what's going to actually make it convert really well. So the only thing you need to do here, couple things. First, if you're using ChatGPT, you want to click this little plus icon and click on deep research. Claude is also really good here. That's just called research, but I think you have to have the paid plan on Claude to be able to do that. So you're just going to go to this section here where it's at the very end where it says your offer brief, fill in everything below before running this prompt. So you're going to fill in everything you can in the brackets. Now, don't shortchange this. Take a little bit of time. Take 20, 30 minutes if you need to really make it good so it has enough to go on. If you don't do that, it's going to be a little generic. So I just filled it in here for a fictitious fitness gym that's offering a free 1-day pass. That's what the landing page is going to be about here for the example. So don't worry too much about how you fill this out. It can be stream of consciousness. It can be just word vomit, word salad. Just get it out there. You don't have to write it well. Just make sure deep research is turned on, and then we're going to click on submit and let it run. Now this is gonna take probably 15 to 20 minutes to really do its job so you know it's working. But while that's running, let's get set up with our web builder. So this is Hostinger Horizons, and I think this is the best AI website builder on the market today because it does several things really well and it's pretty unique. It actually uses Claude Code and Google AI Studio under the hood, which are, both of those are kind of the gold standard these days for AI website building. But it gets better than that because if you use one of those tools, you're basically left with a really nice looking prototype that you can't do anything with. It kind of just lives in a window. You can't really share it unless you're a developer of some kind. It doesn't really have hosting, but Hostinger solves for that. So not only does it use those tools under the hood, but it comes with the hosting component too. So at the end of this, you actually have a website on your domain name, like yourbusinessname.com. So if you use the link below, you're going to be taken to my landing page. This is my affiliate code. I do get a small commission when you use this, but I recommend it because it's the best thing I've come across. You're going to get a deal when you use that. You're going to click on Start Now. Now, I'm not going to walk you through every step here, but I do want to show you your basic options. So right away, you don't need these two right here. They're probably just going to be too much. So you're left with Explorer or Starter. Now, Starter tends to be my pick just because you get more with it. You get a free domain for a year, yourbusinessname.com. With this, you don't. So you'd have to either pay for it or you would just have some spammy looking link that doesn't that's not branded to you. This one also gives you up to 25 websites or apps. This one only gives you one. Maybe you only need one, that's fine. But if you're any kind of a web pro and you need to do this for clients, you probably need more than one. This also lets you sell products. So if you're an e-commerce store, you definitely need this plan anyway. But this is the big one for me. It lets you actually use image prompts. Now, why is that important? Because it lets you upload an image of a website you like, and it can do a pretty good job matching those styles. With this, you only get text prompting, meaning you have to kind of tell it with words. So you're basically left to just say like the colors you like, and it's kind of hard to describe anything more than that. So for our purposes, we're going to select on the starter plan, but feel free to use the Explorer plan if you'd rather. So now it asks you what period you want, 1 month or 12 months. Now, if you do 1 month, you only get 1 month of the discount. 12 months, you lock it in for a year. So I'm just gonna do that. And you can see the West 10 coupon is applied, saving you more money. From there, you just click on continue. And it's gonna ask you to register. So just log in with your Google account or just put in an email address and a new password. And then you'll get to this page where you just put in all your billing information and your payment information. And then you just complete the registration process from there. All right, then you should be on a screen that looks just like this. So from here, you can do a lot of things. You could just prompt it and tell it what kind of offer you have, what your business is, make a landing page for that offer. That's gonna be a little weak. That's why we did the whole ChatGPT first step. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna paste in all of the copy that it gave us for our landing page and have it create the landing page around it. So if we go back over to ChatGPT, we can see that it completed the research in 15 minutes. So it took its time, 397 searches. It did a lot of work here. So you will notice it's probably gonna give you a lot of preamble of telling you kind of what it found out, which go ahead and read through that if you want. It's interesting stuff. You'll get a lot of insights from it for your own marketing. But what we really need for this is where it says landing page copy. So let's go ahead and just copy all of this stuff from top to bottom. And I'm not gonna include this last part because that's just kind of for us to see. So I'm just gonna copy all of that. That's all the content for the landing page. And we'll go back here and I'm gonna type in, make a landing page to serve this offer and content. Do not leave any of it out or change any of it. Design the landing page around this exact content. Now, I'm gonna paste it in. Here's the thing to keep in mind though, realistic expectations. It's sometimes going to miss stuff. It's okay, you can go back and manually add it in later. I'll show you how to do that. But at least if you are kind of stern with it to begin with, it's going to at least kind of do better to keep that in mind. So you could, at this point, upload an image of an inspiration website for look and feel if you wanted to do that. We're gonna do that in a later step though. I don't like to overload it. If it's gotta get all the content right, I don't then wanna have it also keeping in mind a style. I like to do it one at a time. So we're gonna click on submit. And from here, it's going to take a little bit of time as well. So we just want to kind of scroll through to the bottom to make sure it's not asking us any follow-up questions. Sometimes it will. If it does, just answer the questions as best you can. Looks like it's got enough to go on, so it's going to get going. Now we just wait for our first draft. And while it's doing that, because it's probably going to take about another 10 or 15 minutes, why don't we go ahead and look for inspiration for the landing page, just for visual inspiration to kind of give it something that we like the look of. So I'm on this website called dribble.com. It's with 3 B's. It's where a lot of designers post their work. So it's a great place to find inspiration. And just to note, it's not generally going to actually full-on copy these designs. The AI is not really built to do that. It's more like it's gonna take the colors, it's gonna take the overall vibe and use that in its own way. So don't think we're copying designers' work here, we're really not. So you can type in a lot of things here. You could type in just kind of a vibe you're going for. Since it's a gym, we could type in, fitness website. It might be a good place to start anyway. And we can see what kind of things we have. So, and there's definitely lots of cool different vibes here. So it's just kind of choose your own adventure, what feels the most interesting to you, and you would want to go with that. But I kind of like this one right here. I think this is a nice overall vibe, but we're going to come back to this once we've seen the first draft of what Hostinger gave us, so stay tuned. Okay, so this is our first look at what it gave us out of the box. Let's go ahead and check out in full screen mode, which is just clicking these little arrows right here, so we're not distracted. So we've got a nice little hero section here. Yeah, very nice and clean. It's pretty text heavy. There's not a lot of images in here, which is fine for a first draft. But yeah, it looks very clean. And as a true landing page, there's no navigation or anything like that, which is what you want. Okay, but let's try to restyle it according to our inspiration photo. So if we go back to it, I'm just gonna right click on the image, copy image, and I'm gonna go over to the sidebar and I'm just gonna chat with it. Now this is important. All you have to do is treat this like it's a designer that you're having a text conversation with. It will understand, if you just say like, hey, I want to change the headline in, the "You Keep Thinking About It" section, something like that, and just tell it what you want it to say, it'll do it. So I'm just gonna say, restyle the site according to this inspiration website image, and then I'm gonna paste it in. Now, you can go a step further here, and it's probably helpful if you say what you like about it. So I might say I like the warm colors and the use of white space and an emphasis on photos, right? So I would just type in, I like the warm neutrals, white space, and emphasis on photos. Match this as best you can. And I'm gonna let that run for draft 2. Okay, I think it did a pretty good job of doing what we wanted, which is more images and just kind of doing that, using that overall warm kind of aesthetic. So it looks good to me. But now let's talk about images, because right now there's a lot of placeholders. So the good news is images have never been easier to get. Used to be you'd have to go to stock sites or take your own photos, which most people don't know what they're doing there, so they look like bad snapshots. But today, we can use AI to create all the images we ever need. You can literally go to ChatGPT for free right now and get any image you want. Just ask it for, I would say, confident looking woman in her mid-30s working out in a premium looking gym. And that could go right there. So ChatGPT is great. I do want to show you a different tool though called Midjourney that is going to get you a lot more in a quicker amount of time. So if we just go to midjourney.com, all you have to do is type in exactly what you're looking for. So just to get us a bunch of images that we can kind of put wherever on the site, I'm just going to type in, confident looking person working out in a premium gym, determined, aspirational. Just describe what you're looking for. And this is general enough where it's going to give us a bunch of different photos that we can just feed in, and it'll just slot them in wherever they need to go. So the next thing I'm going to do is type in --R, which stands for repeat, then the number 4. What that does is it quadruples how many images it's going to give us. So it's going to give us 16 altogether. From there, we go to settings. It looked like most of the images, they're more portrait oriented, meaning they're taller than they are wide for the most part. So maybe I'll mostly ask for that, and then it can just do with it what it wants. I'll go back here and I will do portrait. Something like this is probably pretty good. Yeah, that looks like about the right dimensions to me. And then I'm gonna click here and we'll just see what it gives us. Okay, so what it mostly did is it just gave us a bunch of dudes. I said person, so it would be like either or. And also a lot of people kind of posing. So I just modified it and said person, male or female. So hopefully next time it'll be a mix. Or you can just do it, kind of get the guys, get the girls, whatever, in separate steps. And I also said candid action shot. So I'm just gonna try this again. Okay, so this did better. Right away, there's just more variety to these. So from here, I'm just gonna choose like 5 of them. Here's something to keep in mind though. What you don't wanna do generally is pick this one and this one, right? You don't want to really mix color in black and white or just different styles. You kind of want it to look like all the photos came from the same photo shoot on the same day with the same photographer. So I'm just gonna pick the ones I want and I'm going to download each of them. So I'm gonna get like 5 of them. Okay, so I made my choices. Now let's go back over here. And I'm going to just type in here, replace the images on the page with these ones, decide where each should go. I'm gonna click on upload images and I'm just gonna choose all 5 of them. But I hope you're seeing how easy this is. Like, you in no way need to be a designer. It's the designer for you. So all you got to do is kind of give it the materials and it's going to go. All right, so let's check that out. So we've got this image up top. We've got this one. Yeah, it's put them in. Now I did have to do a little bit of back and forth because there was a broken image. So if anything doesn't work, just say so to the chat and it will do its best to fix it for you. So let me show you now a few extra things. So first of all, how do you edit content on the page? What if you need to add a new section or just change a piece of it? So first of all, you can just chat over here and ask for any changes you want to. Say, change the headline to this. You could do that. You could say, change the color from orange to purple throughout the site. You could say, I want a testimonial section between the you keep thinking about it section and this other section. You can do all that stuff. But where I would start if I were you, with this edit content button right up here. This is going to let you make changes to content without having to use a credit, because whenever you talk with the AI here, that uses 1 credit. So basically, the first prompt we used to make the entire site, that was just 1 credit. But then every time you ask for a change, you spend another credit. So it just depends on how many you have, how many you want to blow through. Easier to click on edit content first and then make changes just by typing, right? So if you wanted to, you could do that. You can manually click on an image and change it out by uploading a new one. So lots of stuff you can do. One thing I do want to flag here though, I'm just gonna go back to preview. That's gonna get rid of all those blue boxes. I've noticed that this is the landing page, right? So it's really important that your call to action actually leads somewhere. This one says claim my free pass, which is a perfectly great call to action. Brings you down to the bottom of the page where it just says, again, claim my free day pass, and it doesn't do anything. So I just said change the bottom call to action section. So I could also say the bottom, see if this feels like your gym section. Just use whatever language you want to use. Change it to a form where they fill in their name, email, and phone number, and then we get an email to hello, let me fix that typo, hello@gymname.com. So basically telling them when they fill this form out, I want to get an email about it to my email address with all of their info so we can call them back and then email them their day pass. So just going to do that, and then we should get a nice form for that section instead. All right, let's check it out. There we go, easy as that. Now from here, let's just check out, like you can see what it looks like on mobile by clicking right up here. So this is basically what it's gonna look like on a mobile phone. Looks pretty good to me, and you would just do the same thing. If you had any issues that didn't look right, you would just chat with it over here. And maybe you'd say for mobile, get rid of most of the images so that people don't have to scroll so far, that kind of thing. But it's looking pretty good to me. I don't think I have any changes. The only thing you need to do at this point is click on publish, and that is going to prompt you, if you have a domain name that you got as part of this, it'll prompt you to link it to that. And then you've got a brand new website up and online. And by the way, where you set up your domain name is gonna be in your dashboard here inside of Hostinger. You're just gonna go over to domains and then get new domain. If you got a free one, it's gonna walk you through the process of selecting it and nailing it down. And if you didn't grab my Hostinger link yet, that's how you get the best deal possible on the web builder and on the hosting. So that is down in the description below. Go ahead and click on that link. And if you wanna know exactly what needs to go in a high converting website for a service business, I made a free masterclass. It's gonna walk you through the entire system. So click right here to watch that, and I'll see you there in a second.